Welcome back. This is Chili Davis, and I'm back to another video. I'd like to welcome back all my subscribers and all my new viewers. This is the channel where we talk about my top stocks. We also talk about passive income through dividend stocks. If you're new, please click the subscribe button to get my frequent updates. Well, tonight it's Sunday, and we're going over the stock market a little bit. It is earnings season, so last week we had a couple of banks kick off the earnings season. We are hearing that the Fed will raise interest rates. So last week, some of the big stories was Tesla fell precipitously. That was one of the number one companies this past week that had an earnings call was Tesla. Elon Musk talking about the Cybertruck. So Tesla was down quite a bit this week on news of the Cybertruck having extreme excessive costs. Also, we had news about banks. Regions Financial was down over 15%. Also, Amazon shares were down and SoFi shares down. SoFi being a bank too are being impacted by the long-term interest rates. Okay, so less loans being established through business because higher rates for longer. So the Fed still state they're going to go higher for longer on the rates. And so this was Friday, quite a few stocks down. Let's see, in a positive, we had some dividend stocks. We had Verizon shares were up 1.3. We had Crown Castle shares were up 1.72. Also, AT&T, a dividend stock, was up 3.74. And a non-dividend stock was Lucid, up 1%. But again, in this kind of market, dividends are a great way to earn money and even dollar cost average into dividend stocks as the dividend grows. Okay. So again, Verizon, Crown Castle, or AT&T, they all pay dividends. Those could be an added value in your portfolio. Okay, so those are some interesting stocks for this past week. Let's take a look at the Robinhood really quickly. Okay, here we are in the Robinhood, and we are down quite a bit, over 5% over last week. On average, down over 1% a day. So last week, the portfolio was around 2,400 and has dipped quite a bit, down another 5%, down to $2,292, and it was trading at 2,400. So over last week, the portfolio has stepped down as the Fed has come out, said higher rates for longer, and also the inflation data did come out as well. Wasn't that good. So the Fed is saying higher rates for longer as they attempt to tame inflation. Okay. So let's go to the news on CNBC really quickly. On CNBC, we'll see quite a bit of news going on. Remember, we still have the Israeli-Hamas war. So that's been raging for about a week now, since October 7th. Israel has been on high alert, and the people in the Gaza Strip are moving south. So that conflict has gotten tougher. I believe Hamas has released two American hostages. So that's a positive. But that is the news for the last 2 weeks. We know that the Israel-Hamas war is going on, and there is aid going into there. Okay. Now we're looking at the futures for tomorrow. Looks like the Dow futures in a positive, the S&P futures in a positive, and the NASDAQ futures in a positive. And the 10-year T-note, Treasury note, is up quite a bit. That also causes decrease in sometimes stock value. The 10-year T-note, as that ticks up, causes pressure on the market, and usually tech stocks tend to fall on long-term T-notes as they increase in value. Okay. Also, news going on. It says GM and Ford will answer to Wall Street at the end of UAW with the third quarter earnings. Okay, so it is earnings season, and again, GM and Ford workers are still striking, and they're probably wondering how long is this strike going to last. Some thought it was going to be for 2 weeks, and now it looks like it's going on a month, where GM and Ford workers have walked off the plant, and it's looking pretty tough. Okay, and it says stock futures edge higher. Sunday night as Wall Street awaits big tech earnings. Again, banks reported last week. We have other earnings coming up, such as Microsoft, Apple, Meta, and the others as well. Netflix was one of the better ones this week. So let's take a look at Netflix. Okay, here we are on the Netflix stock. As I mentioned earlier in the week, they did report earnings. It was a positive, and as we can see, the stock was trading at $350, and the stock jumped over 15%, quite a bit for a gain of $50. This past week, Netflix stock jumped as they reported good earnings and also a jump in subscription pricing. So Netflix making news. One says here, unstoppable stock down. Netflix surges 16% after Wall Street buys into the ad-driven subscription model. That's good news for Netflix. I do own Netflix as well. And as I mentioned, a tough week for Tesla. Tesla's tough week was about the delivery of a Cybertruck coming end of November. But the Netflix stock, as we can see, jumped over 15% from $354 up to $400 per share late in the week on positive news during the earnings call. Okay. Now, Tesla, on the other hand, post earnings, after earnings was trading at 200. Well, before earnings was trading at $250, and post earnings dropped as low as $212. So was trading at $245 per share. And then after the news about the Cybertruck costing Tesla quite a bit of money and being a tough sled, price of the shares dropped quite a bit, over 15%, on news of the negative outlook for Tesla. Okay. Also, the prices of the vehicles have been lowered to be competitive, and those margins have been kind of going lower as Tesla's making strategic moves. Okay. So again, Elon Musk on the week had a negative outlook and caused the stock to drop over 15%. Again, this was tough on the earnings call, but remember, the Cybertruck is coming out in November. We'll see if there's a pop there, if that will get the stock back on track. The Cybertruck will come out in late November. I believe it's November 30th. So that was the biggest news during the call. We'll see if the deliveries are successful and people are happy with the new Cybertruck. But he did mention it will be quite a challenge getting those vehicles out. Remember, the first year of a new product, a new vehicle, is always hard for an automaker because there'll be slight defects as such that may happen. Okay. So Tesla on the week down over 15% from a share price of $250 per share, $254 per share, now down to a price of $212 per share, down over $38 per share this week. Okay, so that was the news. Again, tomorrow there'll be some more companies report this week. Let's take a brief look at the up and coming week in earnings call. All right, here we are on the earnings whisper. As I mentioned, it's earnings season, and we have quite a few stocks reporting. We have Microsoft reporting on October 24th, Amazon reporting on October 26th, Meta reporting on October 25th, Apple reporting on November 2nd, and Alphabet reporting on October 24th. So this week we got Alphabet or Google on October 24th. We got Facebook on October 25th, Amazon on October 26th, and Microsoft. So those three stocks were reporting this week. It will report what tech has done in the last 3 months and what tech should be doing in the next 3 months. Okay, so they will give a forecast what they expect. And remember, Microsoft is hot off the deal, the merger. Microsoft just acquired Activision Blizzard, so there may be positive news coming out on that earnings call on October 24th. Okay, so that is the update. Again, it is earnings season. It's earnings season. You got big tech, Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, Nvidia, Apple, and Google set to report this week. Remember, we are in the backdrop of higher rates for longer. And so that is the big news. Will tech be able to increase revenue in this high interest rate environment? And so I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please like, share, and I hope to see you on my next video.